Yeah, again, thank you, Emma, for the acknowledgement actually just today, just a few hours ago, I was notified that I was endorsed by the 42nd Dems to run for the 42nd State Senate race to represent all of Whatcom County and the region at Olympia. So very appreciative of that. That is not why I'm here today. I was asked to reflect back on my previous time serving the Lummi Nation as chairman for the tribe, and really, the further I get away from that post, I really can't help but think nothing compares to sovereignty. So I really want to appreciate Steve, Juanita, any of the other former council people from Lummi that are here, any of our guests that might have traveled from other Indian nations who are serving their community. Nothing compares to sovereignty. And our past leaders left us both a gift and a responsibility to safeguard our communities, to safeguard our treaty rights, and to make sure that our way of life is here for our kids and their children that aren't born yet. And when it comes to this issue about the Atlantic salmon spill that happened last August, that's what it was about. It was about making sure that habitat and environment and all the threats to our salmon and our ability to fish are looked after. And I can't help but thank all of the people that were involved in that issue. In late August, when it occurred last year in 2017, I think that we wouldn't have known the impact that occurred. The state legislature wouldn't have made the decision and move to phase out and ban Atlantic salmon from this last legislative session. And all of that came from the work and organization of the Lummi government and the hard work and effort of Lummi fishermen to address the problem and clean up what state ecology considered to be a pollutant. Early on, within 3 or 4 days of the spill, Merle Jefferson made sure he planted himself in my office and said, "Mr. Chairman, we need to do something." He bugged me on the phone later on that evening and said, "Mr. Chairman, the fishermen are catching the fish in the river. We have to do something." He called me 7 a.m. the next morning and said, "Mr. Chairman, we need to do something." He said, "We need to get our fishermen to go clean up the water." And the only reason I didn't respond initially, because I knew that that was the answer that he was going to bring to me. And I said, "Merle, that would take tribal hard dollars and resources that we're supposed to be spending on health care, resources we're supposed to be spending on education and public safety, cleaning up other areas of fish habitat." And he said, "There's no other way." And so after talking about it with the tribal council, we made the declaration of emergency that reshaped our tribal government, and at least 20 plus employees rededicated their efforts from whatever it is they were supposed to be doing to establish an emergency response team that was headed up by Lisa here, Councilman Victor Johnson, and another staff member, Jeffrey James. And they organized about 7 different units that addressed cleaning up the water, which was pretty simple, engaging fishermen to do what they do best, fish the pollutant out of the water to make sure that it doesn't compete with the native stocks and the hatchery stocks that we put a lot of resources into. And then through the Natural Resource Department, did what we could to make sure that we measured the impacts to the competition that these fish were the threat of competition in the river streams. And in the end, I think that what we did was a move towards improving our waterways, improving our water systems, and it couldn't have been done without the hard work of the Lummi government, the Lummi people, and of course the Lummi fishermen. So if you can help me and give me a round of applause for these panelists who are going to share that experience with all of you. Isia.